these costs, or was it general?
Thank you for that question, Justin. There were a number of ideas that are were on the table, some of which will be debated and discussed in the coming months, and we have reached a point of no return. The systems that people rely upon, education, healthcare, housing, our transportation, they are woefully underfunded.
And we're back, y'all. Thank you for watching today. Go ahead and hit that like button, my people. You know that it helps us out a ton. And of course, it helps you because it helps us keep bringing you this content twice a day, every day, y'all. Twice a day, every day. Now, y'all, today we're going to be talking about your boy, Brandon Johnson, the illustrious sub 10% approval rating mayor of Chicago. As you know, he has a mostly weekly press availability, so you have to give him credit where credit's due. He does not run from the press. He does not run from taking questions. He gets out there. He puts himself in the line of fire. He takes the tough questions along with the softballs, and he answers them all. Now, does he do a good job? Is he good at it? That's a different question. But the man does get out there. He definitely does not hide behind a rock. Now, what he said this week, y'all, is that Chicago has reached the point of no return. Now, we all knew this, right? I've been saying this. The press has been, I've only been able to say it because the press has been reporting on this for months at this point. They have $1 billion budget shortfall. They gave all the money away to people who are in the country without permission. The illustrious sub 10% approval rating mayor of Chicago, Brandon Johnson, promises to continue with the same policies that got him into. You know what's so funny as you watch this? He's been the mayor for 2 years. These are his policies. This is his budget shortfall, but he keeps talking about it as if it were somebody else's fault. So not only is the man tremendously, in my opinion, incapable of doing the job, but he's not even capable of taking responsibility. So like typical politician, he wants to take responsibility for the things that are trending in the direction that he wants, like crime's going down. Hello, crime's down across the whole country. It's not something that you did, buddy. It's just going down after a spike after COVID. So you're benefiting from that, and so are all of the major cities. So he wants to take credit for that, but then he doesn't want to take credit for his disastrous policies, which have left Chicago at a point of no return. Let's take a look. But before we do, y'all, make sure you take care of your money. I'm not going to make this a long one, y'all. Go to Paralegold, PARALEGOLD.com, or call 844-651-8334, 844-651-8334. If you have $50,000 to $100,000 or more in your retirement, protected from inflation, protected from monetary debasement, you're about to retire. Make sure your money's still there and it's still worth something by investing at least some of it in gold. Talk to our partners at Augusta Precious Metals. Go click the link now, get the free information, and protect your precious retirement.
Mayor Brandon Johnson is sounding the alarm about Chicago's finances.
We have reached a point of no return. The systems that people rely upon, education, healthcare, housing, our transportation, they are woefully underfunded. And everyone knows that. Everyone knows what my commitment is to progressive revenue. I can't do this by myself.
The mayor's statement coming in response to a question about a pension bill Governor Pritzker signed into law last week. That law will increase retirement benefits for police and firefighters, adding more than $11 billion to Chicago's long-term pension liability. Johnson says the state needs new progressive revenue options, but he did not name any specific plans.
Now, as you know, with the weekly press availability, reporter William Kelly, he gonna get on him. Brandon Johnson he's kind of come with some snappy comebacks, but he doesn't really answer the question. You know how it is. It's politician stuff. So one thing I can say Brandon Johnson is good at is avoiding taking responsibility for his disastrously failed policies. He's really good at that. So William Kelly's going to try to stick it to him, and Kelly's good at his job. But Brandon Johnson, as the politician and as the one who's controlling the press conference, you know how these things go. But let's take a look at Kelly go at Brandon Johnson. We'll take a look at another classic battle between these two. Let's jump into it.
No preambles there.
Mayor Johnson?
Straight to the question. No preambles there.
Thank you for that question.
Thank you.
But no preambles there.
Mayor Johnson?
Straight to the question.
I didn't even start the question. Interrupting me before I start a question is kind of a violation of my First Amendment rights. You know that, right? Mayor Johnson, you really should talk to your press secretary. I mean, it doesn't make you look strong to have them interrupting my questions. It really doesn't. Mayor Johnson, yesterday you took a very thinly veiled swipe at Governor Pritzker for prioritizing and harboring the Democrat lawmakers from Texas over the residents of the South and West Side. But yet, real people on the South and West Side contact me every day and say that they feel that your spending on migrants, putting Chicago in a $1 billion budget gap,
Time to get to the question.
has harmed them. What do you say to those people?
Well, first of all, the investments that I will continue to make, particularly in communities that have been historically left out, we will continue to do that. $1.25 billion investment for housing and economic development. We just put forth another $40 million to expand and develop the infrastructure around homelessness. We've invested in over 30,000 summer youth jobs. We'll continue to make those investments. Look, the less than 1% over the overall budget that we responded to based upon the unholy and ungodly efforts and acts of the governor of Texas, we did the righteous thing by responding. It's very clear that we did the right thing responding to this mission because this is a governor in Texas that can't figure out, quite frankly, how to respond to natural disasters, right? This is a governor who is working hard to eliminate the power of black and brown people. I'm always going to stand up against those efforts, and as a city, we're going to continue to build the safest, most affordable big city in America.
National Democrats are pointing to you as an example of why the candidacy of New York mayoral candidate Zohran Mamdani would be a disaster for New York and for the rest of the country. They say,
Question.
Mayor Johnson is proof that
We need the question.
not all
Yep.
grammar school
William.
social studies teachers are not qualified to run for mayor. That your
We're gonna need the
$1
question. We're gonna have to keep moving.
budget deficit is an example of failed policies.
Okay,
What do you
thank you.
say to the national Democrat leaders who are pointing to you as an example of incompetence?
Yeah, 32% reduction in homicides, 38% reduction in shootings, 38% reduction in shooting victims. We have, some of the greatest numbers of airport interaction than we've seen ever in the history of our city. We have more people moving to the city of Chicago. We're on pace to build 10,000 more affordable units. Look, the city of Chicago has long been the punching bag of the extreme right. We know they have, but it's proof positive that we're.
All
right, thank you.
I want to finish answering the question here. We are becoming the safest, most affordable big city in America, and that's because the investments that we're making in mental health, housing, youth employment, economic development. It is clear if you were awake during the presentation, you would actually know how effective my leadership has been. Next time, won't you do us a favor and at least not nod off when we're actually giving the real people that you talk to the evidence of how we're building the safest, most affordable big city in America. Thank you, and get a nap.
Hi, Mayor.
Hey.
So, y'all, as you know, the illustrious sub 10% approval rating mayor of Chicago, Brandon Johnson, he's not going to take responsibility. He's going to continue to talk about progressive this, working people that, welcoming city this. I mean, Chicago, y'all just have to, you just got to vote the brother out. I'm sorry. Let him go back to teaching. He's probably an excellent teacher. He's probably one of the best social studies teachers that ever graced the Chicago classrooms. Let the man go back to doing what he's good at, y'all. I mean, it's not my city, so you all are going to have to make the decision. But if my mayor were illustrious sub 10% approval rating, I think I'd be voting for the other person. Y'all let me know down in the comments, what do you think? Why is Brandon Johnson not taking responsibility for his disastrous policies, including giving hundreds of millions of dollars of the city's money away to people who are in the country without even permission? Why isn't he taking responsibility? Is this the best we can do? Is this the best we have in the United States of America? Let me know down in the comments, but before you do, please hit the share button. Share this video out over email, text message, WhatsApp, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, all your favorite social mediums. And of course, if you're not a subscriber, please do subscribe. Also hit the link Paralegold, PARALEGOLD.com. Find out how to protect your retirement from the upsies, downsies, roundsies, and roundsies. And call my people at Augusta Precious Metals at 844-651-8334. Thank y'all for watching. Love y'all, and we'll see you back in the next one.
When you say you were, what your presentation was,
Well, look, the people who wanted it the way it was introduced 2 years ago, they wanted it to remain that way. And that's what ultimately passed. And look, they had the votes 2 years ago, right? And, unfortunately, it just didn't quite matter entirely about the predicament that it would put all of us in. But I do know that the sponsor is committed to working with me and his colleagues to generate progressive revenue for pensions, for CTA, for CPS. We're going to just focus on that work right now.
did the group get as far as advocating for a specific revenue source for these costs, or was it general?
Thank you for that question, Justin. There were a number of ideas that were on the table, some of which will be debated and discussed in the coming months. And we have reached a point of no return. The systems that people rely upon, education, healthcare, housing, our transportation, they are woefully underfunded, and everyone knows that. Everyone knows what my commitment is to progressive revenue. I can't do this by myself. Other folks have to lean in to get a substantive revenue package across the finish line. Now, I'm going to work hard to model that locally. You'll get a chance to see my presentation soon enough, and I just hope that my counterparts at the state level continue to explore all options. And there are a number of people who recognize the severity of this moment. I don't want that to be lost or misunderstood or misinterpreted. That I know that there are a number of my counterparts in Springfield that recognize the urgency of this moment. Now it's just a matter of us using the political will that really the working people have bestowed upon us to execute a budget package that speaks to our values and funds our critical services.
Good afternoon.